Maryland. Okay, Evansville Police Department. This is Detective Jones, Kentucky State Police. You talked to him earlier?
Yes.
Okay. I want to get some information, though. You want to make sure we know who we're talking to, okay? We do this all the time. Give me your first name.
William.
That's your legal first name?
Yes.
Middle name?
Police charged 2 Evansville foster siblings with murder in connection to a homeless man's strangulation. 18-year-old William Jeffery Hurt and 19-year-old Deadra Hurt were being held at the Vanderburgh County Jail in Evansville. They, along with 2 others, were arrested in connection with the slaying of 54-year-old Marcus Golike, whose body was found in the Ohio River. Police say Golike had visited the Hurts' home and left before the 2 and others from the home found him walking down the street and attacked him. Police also say that after dumping the body, the group used Golike's debit card to buy sodas and snacks.
How you spell that?
Jeffery.
R-E-Y.
Yeah.
Last name?
Hurt.
And what is your date of birth? And your address?
2313 East Riverside Drive.
Which Social Security? Okay. I'm going to read you something. I want to make sure you understand it, okay?
Okay.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you can afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not to answer any questions or make any statements. Okay. Would you sign here to show that I read that to you? All that's stating is that I read you your Miranda rights. Okay. Now, do you want to talk to me about this incident?
About this Marcus Golike?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to know?
Well, I got to know if you want to talk to me about it or not.
Well, I can talk to you. It's not a problem.
Okay, good. Would you sign here, please? Okay. All right, we're going to go over again about that night, okay?
Okay.
You were working, is that correct?
Yes, that was.
And that was on Thursday?
Yes.
Do you think it was about the 16th?
I think it was on the 16th, yes.
Okay, so it was the 16th on a Thursday. Originally you said on a Saturday. Actually, originally you told me on Thursday. When I told you that Debbie had told me that it was on Saturday, you agreed. Were you just agreeing at that time?
Well, when my dad asked me what day it was, I was half asleep. I didn't really give time to think.
Okay.
Because he had woken me up, so I just pretty much set a day just so he would leave me alone when I go back to sleep.
Okay. Okay, so are we sure it was Thursday now?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about...
What I can do is I can get the schedule that we were working that week,
Okay.
and I can see who I was working with. As if I backtrack, I'll be able to tell you.
Okay. Regardless of the day, that's the night Marcus Golike was there,
Yes.
right? Okay. Tell me about your day that day.
My day was I got up, I got up, I was getting showered, and I played games, spent time with him a little bit, and around 3:15 I left to go take the Lawndale bus to work.
Which is?
Flick's Ice Cream. Flick's Deli and Ice Cream over there on Green River Road.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, it was a very long, drawn-out day, and when I had gotten home, he was sitting at my kitchen table.
Okay. So let's back up. What time did you leave work?
It was about, Thursday, 9:45 when she told me to leave,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was sitting on behind the mall waiting for the bus
Okay.
for about 30 minutes.
Okay. And what time do you think you got on the bus?
About 10:15.
10:15.
Lawndale.
Okay. And where did the bus take you?
Took me down to, where Big Lots is at, or there by Washington Square Mall.
Mm-hmm.
Took me down there to the Lawndale, and then I got on the Riverside bus and came home.
Okay. Where did that bus drop you off at?
Dropped me off at the Kangaroo gas station.
Okay. Right there at Becky and Riverside?
Yes.
What time do you think you got home?
It was about, on that day it was about 11:30.
About 11:30?
11:30 p.m.
Okay, it's a pretty long bus ride.
So we gotta wait for the other buses, and then they leave at 10:45
Okay.
to take everybody else.
Okay, but now's the real important part. Now's when I want you to be honest and not skip any details. Tell me everything, okay? Don't leave anything out,
Okay.
okay? Go ahead.
What do you want?
When you got home,
When I got home, I walked in, and Mark was sitting on my kitchen table. He was eating a bucket of macaroni salad, because I had hugged my mom at that time to tell her that I loved her and I was home. And then after that, I sat down at the kitchen table. I was sitting with my mom, and we were sitting there talking. And then after a while, my mom said she had to go to bed.
who all was in the kitchen?
It was me, Mark, Harley Wade, the foster kid. He was in there for about 10 minutes.
Okay, let's back up again. So you left that out. I really want everything. This is very important, okay? I want every little detail. You come in the house, you said your mom and Mark were in the kitchen.
Yes.
At that time, when you entered the door, who was in the kitchen?
It was Stephen, my little brother, my mom, and Mark.
Okay.
And after I come in, sat down, Harley, he walked in, he grabbed something,
Where did he come from?
the living room.
Okay.
He had walked in, and then he grabbed something, he started moving stuff around, like cleaning up a little bit. Then he grabbed his Sunny D and walked back out.
Grabbed his ID?
It's Sunny D. It's
Sunny D, the drink.
Yeah.
And then he walked out?
Yeah.
How long was he in the kitchen?
About 5-10 minutes.
Okay. And then what happened?
Then after that, me and we got to talking. Stephen was taking playing cards and throwing them really fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, after he got done doing that, me and Mark played a game of chess, which lasted about half an hour almost. And then after that, my mom said she was going to bed, and I was like right in the middle of our game.
Okay.
And then Mark, because his eyes were bad, he couldn't see the board very well because of the lighting. And then he just surrendered. And then I shook his hand, and I started talking to him for a little bit. And after probably about 20 minutes of talking, he just said he was going to leave. He grabbed a container of instant coffee, filled up the thing with water, and then just
Was your mom there to witness this?
No, she was in bed.
Okay. 'Cause she told me about it. You sure she wasn't there when the container of coffee came out?
Well, she gave the container of coffee to him. I remember that.
Okay, remember I told you I wanted specific details, okay?
Okay.
That's something you left out. I don't want you leaving anything else out.
As my mom was going to bed, Mark asked about coffee, and then she was digging around in the cabinet and grabbed an instant coffee container that had about probably this much coffee left in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said he could have it.
Okay.
And then after that, we talked for a little bit, and then he filled up the container, started around, drank some, said he was leaving. I shook his hand again until I don't see him around,
Mm-hmm.
and then he got on his shoes and walked out the back door.
Walked out the back door.
Yes,
Okay. Where was Harley at this time?
he was in his room.
He was in his room. How do you know that?
Because as I was walking up to the table, he went into his room for a little bit. Because usually when mom goes to bed, everybody else kind of follows and goes to bed.
Okay. Where was Stephen?
He was already in bed asleep, I believe.
Okay. And did he leave the kitchen?
He left before me and Mark started playing game of chess.
He left before that?
Yes.
Okay. So you're kind of all over the place. You know, you're not telling it step by step. I've got to pull you in on this stuff. I don't like doing that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then after that, after mom went to bed, instead of talking for a little bit like I just said, then he filled up the instant coffee container, said he was leaving, so I shook his hand, and he walked out there, put his shoes on, and walked out the back door.
Okay.
And that's the last I'd seen him.
Where was Andrea?
Andrea, she was upstairs asleep.
Where was Deidre?
I don't know where Dee was.
And that's the last time you saw him?
That's the last time I saw him, yes. So after he left, I went down to my room about 1 o'clock, and then I fell asleep after I fed my rabbit and watched a little TV.
Okay. At what time do you think he left?
It was probably about 12:30.
12:30? So what did you do from 12:30 to 1 o'clock?
We sat there and talked,
Who?
me and Mark.
All right, he left at 12:30, you said. You went to your bedroom at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, he was getting to leave at 12:30, and then we started talking again for like 15 minutes, and then he said he was leaving about 12:45, 12:50. He walked out the back door, and I went down to my room. I sleep in the basement.
What'd you guys talk about?
We talked about football pros and how bad the teams were doing, how bad some of the teams were doing, and some of the teams were good, and that they called to lost Peyton Manning and how good of a quarterback he was, and his brother's trying to catch up to him. That was about it.
Okay. And you went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
What's the next noise you hear?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Nothing.
Okay. Do you have any kind of disabilities?
Do I?
Mm-hmm.
I do have clubfoot.
Okay. Any mental disabilities?
Not mental, no.
Okay. You make decent grades?
Yes, I do. I actually graduated as a junior.
Okay, that's good. I'm going to tell you what, you got inconsistencies with some of the stories you're telling.
Yeah.
You understand that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. You want to be straight with me this time?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. For about 9:45, we had to close at 9:30. I was cleaning up, and then Nyla, my store manager, I think you met her. She was the lady who was the blonde little lady, old lady. And then she said, you can go ahead and leave. Steve's going to be here. Steve's her husband. And she said she wanted me to go catch my bus. So I walked out the back door of Licks. I walked across the mall parking lot to the back, to the Dillard's wing. You wait for the buses.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got on the Lawndale bus. The Lawndale bus. It took me all the way around Walmart. And then we went back around to the mall on Lincoln, and then we took down Green River, and then we turned into the Lawndale area. Then I got off the bus. I waited for every bus to get there except for the Riverside bus. The Riverside bus is always the last one to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, I got on the bus. We left. We went down South Green River, turned on Riverside, and then started letting people off. Some people got on. Then we got to my stop, I got off. I started walking home. I walked in, seen Mark sit at the kitchen table after I'd hugged my mom and told her that I loved her and told her that I was home. He was eating a bucket of macaroni salad, and he was sitting there talking to Steve and talking to Mom, having a good time. I sat down at the table at the opposite end, and then Steven, after he got done throwing those cards around or whatever, he left. Me and Mark started playing a game of chess. And then Harley walked in, grabbed some, started cleaning up a little bit because this is a kitchen. He grabbed a Sunny D, went to the living room again. About 25, 30 minutes after he had left, we were sitting there playing the game still. About half an hour it took, and Mark surrendered because he couldn't see the board anymore. Then after that, we started talking about football pros and how bad they're doing, how good some of the teams are doing, how the Colts lost Manning, and how Eli is starting to catch up to him. And then he said he had to leave. Crap. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. I've never dealt with this stuff before.
Well, I'll tell you, you're dealing with something here that I think you're being withholding a little information.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've never dealt with any of this stuff before.
Okay. Well, you need to deal with it straight up, okay? Be honest. It's the best way to do this. Okay?
Was this true?
Okay?
Okay. And before we started playing the game of chess, my mom said that she was going to bed. Mark had asked her to go make for coffee, and she was rummaging around in the little cabinet, and she said, here, you can have this instant coffee. About that much left. And after we were starting to play the game some more, and then he surrendered. And he filled up the instant coffee maker, filled the instant coffee, started around. I started talking a little bit as soon as we got to the back door. I shook his hand again, told him goodbye, see him around. And he, crap. Then he walked out the back screen door. I seen him put his shoes on, I washed them, walk out the back door, then I went down to my room, fed my rabbit, watched TV, and went to sleep. That's the last I'd seen.
Harley. You said earlier, Harley's door shut.
Mm-hmm.
After you went to bed. You're leaving out some stuff, all right? And I've been patient with you. It's time to tell it all. It's time to be honest. You understand we know more than what
Yeah.
you think?
Oh, I already know, yeah. I have a feeling you guys already know
Mhm.
more than I think, because you guys are detectives.
What do you think we know?
Well, I think you know what happened to Mark,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you don't know necessarily what happened, not like all what happened. I know you guys know the exact time and dates he was there,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the stuff that he has done within that past week. That's about all I know.
What do you mean some of the stuff that he's done in the past week?
Well, from what he had told me in the interview that I had with him, that there was no possible way that he could have been there on the 16th because he had known where he was at.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about all I know.
Well, let me jump in here. You told me in our interview, which is taped, that Harley was wanting to try to play chess with Marcus, and that he was asking him to play chess. You never mentioned that once so far. You also told me after you went to bed that you heard Harley's door shut shortly after that as he was going to bed. You never said that. You said he walked out the back door, okay, and then right there as you're saying he walks out the back door, that's where you're hesitating, and that's where the lie starts. Because you want to know why? Because when you're remembering your bus ride, you're remembering all this stuff, man, you're looking to the right, which is drawn from memory. As soon as you get to the back door, you're looking left with your eyes and everything else. You're lying. I mean, that's where you're starting to make up the story. That's where you're fabricating it at. Okay? An interesting comment you made a while ago. I haven't dealt with this before. Well, no, you haven't dealt with this before. Because if you are, then we got a real problem. So, this is the deal. William, we know what happened. We know who did it. And we know that you're part of it.
How am I part of it?
We know this. Now.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
And so you're a part of it by withholding information. That makes you a big part of it. All right?
Okay. I thought like I had done something physically to him. I mean, I don't harm my family at all.
We're not saying you did hurt your family, but we're saying that you're part of it because you know what's going on and you're not helping us out. Okay? Here's the deal. You keep leaving Harley out of this whole equation right now. But I got earlier when we talked, you was all about, Harley's doing this, Harley's doing that, Harley's doing that. Have you and Harley talked since the last time we just talked to you all just a few minutes ago, or a few hours ago?
Not really.
Not really. What did you talk about when you get to talk?
Well, you didn't really talk about anything. I was helping him find his phone because he had lost it.
Well, there's a few things as far as there was some property missing, obviously. Are we going to find anything in your bedroom, anywhere around your house
No.
that belongs to Mark?
Not that I know of, no.
Did Harley and Mark get into a physical confrontation?
No. Not from what I know.
They didn't.
Not from
What
what
you're
I know.
saying. Not from what you know. What about from what you've heard?
I haven't really heard anything. I didn't hear any noises after I went to bed. I didn't hear anything.
We're talking about if Harley told you anything after the fact.
Oh, no.
Did anybody?
No.
William, here's the deal. Like I told you earlier, about people helping us out and people not. Man, you're gonna end up hemming yourself up in this. Okay, by withholding information and everything else.
Yeah.
Now, if you're trying to cover up for somebody and if you're trying to keep something
I'm
secret,
not trying to cover up
just listen and hear me out, okay? If you know something, I don't care if it was Harley done something, I don't care if it's, Andrew, I don't care who it was, and you know about it, and this ends up turning south, then you know you can get in trouble for this, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you're wanting to come clean, right now is the time to come clean, and, with the Detective Antwin sitting here talking to you, there's so many inconsistencies in your story right now that I have a hard time believing anything you're saying. Honestly, I really do.
Yeah.
So, why would I want to sit here and believe you when you're so inconsistent?
I'm changing the story.
Yeah, you're inconsistent. You're leaving parts out. You're changing the story. You're fabricating. I can tell by looking at your eyes, you're fabricating parts of this up. Right when you get to the point, he walked out the back door. That's when you start fabricating. Everything else, I believe, happened that night. Like I told you earlier, when I interviewed you earlier, I said, hey, man, I believe you all sat down and played chess. I believe the coffee. I believe everything else. I do not believe that after he walked out this back door, that was the end of everything. Okay? Something happened that night. And we know what happened that night, and it happened around that residence. Someone in that residence is involved. You are involved now because
I'm withholding information.
you're withholding the information. Now, do you want to be involved in the crime?
No, I don't.
Then you need to start telling us everything you know, because you're not telling us everything you know.
Do you want me to start from...
I want you to tell me what part you're leaving out, what happened that night, what you heard, and everything. I don't care what you tell me as of right now. You understand that?
Yes.
Because the only thing you're going to do is if you tell me everything, is help yourself out. You're not helping us out no more. We already know everything now.
Yeah.
You didn't do this to me earlier. You didn't give me everything earlier. So we went, like I told you, we started an investigation. We did everything ourselves. So, yeah, I mean, as far as you helping me out, you've not done it so far. The only way you're going to change my mind in this whole deal is if you tell me verbatim what's happened. Because as of right now, man, your eye contact, you got way too much eye contact. I mean, this is not normal. Okay?
Yeah.
You staring a hole right through, Detective Ventland the whole time you've been talking to him, that's not normal. Okay? You're standing there staring at me the whole time, that's not normal. Okay, we can pick up on your body language, all your deception and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, I'm telling you, if, somebody threatened you, not to tell us or whatever, man.
Nobody's threatening me.
Well, promise you, threatened you, coerced you, anything.
Honestly,
okay.
I don't know what I'm withholding.
Well,
I'm being honest.
You agreed with us that you were withholding something.
yeah.
But I don't know what it is. Because I'm just I want this case to end because I'm trying to help you guys figure out what happened. You guys already know what happened. I understand that. I really do. And for you guys to believe that I'm withholding something...
You said earlier, in an earlier statement,
Okay.
you heard Harley's door shut after you went to bed.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true or not true?
That's true, because after Mom goes to bed, usually everybody else, because she tells everybody else to go to bed, everyone retires to their rooms, I heard doors shut, and then after the chess game was when everybody else was already in their room. After that, it was just me and him in the kitchen. He filled up his instant coffee container, and then he just walked out the back door. We talked a little bit more, shook his hand, and then he went out after he put his shoes on. He went out the back.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he went out the back door, I don't know what happened because I had retired to my room, and after I hit my bed, I fell asleep.
Where's Harley's door come into this?
Harley's door, okay. After Mom had told everyone to go to bed, I heard door shut. I seen Stephen go into his room, and then I heard Andrea and Kara. They were walking upstairs, and then I heard Harley coming through the hallway. I heard his door shut, and then soon after that, about 5-10 minutes, Mark surrendered in a game of chess. Shook his hand. We got up on the table. I walked around. I got something to drink. Then I sat back down at the table, and then he sat back down. And then we started talking about the football pros. And soon after that, he got back up. He filled the instant coffee container with water. And I shook his hand again, so I see him around. And he walked out the back door. And after he did that, I watched him leave and everything. After he did that, I walked down to the basement. I fed my rabbit. I went to bed.
Still, you have not answered my question. You said in an earlier statement you heard Harley's door shut after you went to bed. Is that true or not true?
Harley's door shut after I went to bed.
After you went to your room.
No, it's not true.
Not true.
Okay, you told me that on an earlier recorded interview, and we hit that fact. Then when I asked you that question just not even 5 minutes ago, you said yes, that's what happened.
You ever go down to river camps?
Mm-hmm.
No. Never been there in your life?
No.
Never. Would your sisters go?
What do you mean river camps?
Down in Weinbach.
Oh, no, I've never been down there.
Never?
No.
Have your sisters been?
Probably Deadra, because she said she was going camping down by the river a couple times with her friends.
Okay. Harley ever been down there?
No.
You're sure?
From what I know about Harley, no, he hasn't told me anything about that.
What about the mud on your shoes there?
That's from doing yard work yesterday. I do
Let me see the bottom of your shoe. Pull it off if you don't care.
What kind of yard work do you do?
These are my work shoes, so I wear them to work, and sometimes after I get off work, my grandma's boyfriend goes to pick me up. I mow their lawn, dust is flying everywhere, and then yesterday I was in the landscaping, picking up weeds out of the landscaping, and dirt was getting all over them, and we have a chicken coop out back, as you know, and I walk in there, I feed them, and they'll kick dirt up on my shoes and all that other stuff.
So once Harley went in his room, you're going to stick to that story that he never came out?
From what I know, from what I remember, yes, he never came out.
Do you feel like you're involved in something really big here?
Well, yes, I do feel like I'm involved because, according to what you guys are saying, and me changing up the story a lot, I'm withholding information, but I don't know what that information is. I mean, I'm telling you everything that I know. It may be like a different way of telling it, telling a different sequence, but I'm telling you all that I know.
Okay. Has Mark ever rode in your van?
Not that I know of. Like I said before, he does not trust motor vehicles or anything like that. He usually walks.
Has Mark ever been in the van?
Not that I know of.
Now, if I go down to the river camp, am I going to find that shoe print anywhere?
Probably not. So I've never been down to the river camps any day in my life.
What do you mean probably not? I'm not going to find that shoe print.
Because there are shoes like this all over Evansville. It's not necessarily going to match up to mine.
Well, I'm pretty sure yours is on the patent number 7,846,493 with a size 10 with a wavy sole pattern, wavy airspeed.
I promise you will not find any footprints of mine down at a river camp. I promise you that.
A while ago, you probably know you're going to promise me. Man, I'm telling you,
I know.
It ain't working.
Something's troubling you, more than you're telling us. I can see it.
Hey, get it off
Something's
your chest.
bothering you.
Get it off your chest.
So you guys are just interrogating me constantly.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's getting on my nerves.
Okay.
Well, you need to get it off your chest.
I know, I'm not involved in this. Okay,
Who is? Who's involved in it?
Nobody I know of.
Did Harley do something to him?
No, not that I know of. Because after I went to bed, I went to sleep, I don't remember anything. I don't remember, after I go to bed, I just black out, I just wake up. Not like necessarily black out, but I just go to sleep, and when I'm really tired, I'm a heavy sleeper.
William, you said in an earlier statement also that you didn't think you could pass a polygraph. Do you think that's true, that you couldn't pass a polygraph?
But as nervous as I get when I'm put on the spot.
It doesn't matter, it accounts for that. It accounts for that. Polygraphs are good. They'll tell if you're lying or not. Okay? I don't know what you know about them, but they'll tell you. They'll tell us if you're lying. Do you think you could pass a polygraph on everything you told us?
Yes.
About not knowing anything more about Marcus?
Mm-hmm.
You told us everything you know about Marcus.
Everything that I know of from the standpoint. I'm already going to tell you. Because when you guys were talking to Mom alone, okay, I was sitting in the living room, and I heard you guys talking about a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
I already know he's dead.
Okay.
Okay. That's all I know from that part. I heard you guys talking about the funeral, and the plans to be made for it, and that he's in Madisonville.
Okay.
Anything from that about Mark, I do not know. I know that he has mental issues, and that he does not like riding in vehicles.
How did he die?
I don't know.
No idea?
No. I also know that he was found in the river.
How'd you know that?
Because when I get updates on my phone, it says a man was found in the river. I looked at it, and it looked like it could have been him, but I wasn't sure. And then
You saw a picture of him?
I didn't necessarily see the picture, but I got the notification on my phone that had said a man was found in the river. This is while I was at work. Because it went off, and I was on break. I looked at it, the thing popped up, and then as soon as I seen it pop up, I clicked it off, because I was going back to work at that time.
Okay. Did you know it was Marcus at that time?
No, I did not know it was Marcus, that it was found in the river. I know he'd gone missing, and that I honestly thought he was still alive at that point.
How did you know he went missing already?
Because Mom had told me.
The day that you got that text, that notification, your mom told you he'd already been missing.
No, this was okay. He had come out before he started coming at my job and asking me these questions. He'd come out, ask me these questions about Marcus. I had told him that day I was heading into work. You remember that, right? That I was heading into work around. I'd be there at 12 o'clock. So he left about 11:15ish,
okay,
I believe. And we left at 11:30. Took me to work, and I was there for a couple hours, took a break. I seen it pop up on my phone. I clicked it off. It said, man was found in the river. And
the day I saw it, talk to you?
It popped up that day. And after that, I had gone back to work.
Can you pop that up on your phone?
I don't believe that I can, because I tried looking for it earlier. Because I heard you guys talk about the funeral.
Okay. What popped up?
I'll show you.
No, I mean, a news organization or what? Or
It's
a friend?
14 WFYE.
That's the one you would have come up on? Okay.
I can show you guys what I use, but
No, I know about it, okay? I know about the 14, how they can send the news alerts out. But you
Yeah,
know what? That news alert would have come out either on Sunday or Monday. I talked to you Wednesday. Okay?
yeah.
The news alert wouldn't have come out then. It would have already happened. So you understand there's conflict here, real conflict.
I really do understand.
Because you're already saying that was Marcus in the Ohio River. How you know he's in the Ohio River? I never said nothing about it.
I mean, I just took a guess. I don't necessarily know.
You said a while ago you knew. I knew that was Marcus.
I said it could have possibly been. I didn't say I knew for a fact.
A while ago, when Detective Vanlin asked you, is there anything else you know? You said, all I know is he was found in the Ohio River. That's all you said. That was your exact statement.
I went off of this because I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that notification pop up on my phone.
Man, you're going to end up hemming yourself up.
Oh my god. I fucking hate this. I'm not involved in this anyway.
Who was involved in it?
Earlier you told us you were.
How was I involved in?
You said you were involved.
Okay, I talked to him. Okay, look, I'll start from the beginning. I'll give you exactly everything that I know.
Is it going to be the same story we've already heard?
Yes, possibly. Oh my god.
Okay, look. I want to know what happened to Marcus. I think at one time you cared about him, all right? And you still care about him, all right? I need to find out what happened to him. We need to know. We need to know how much you're involved in this. We need to know if you're the one that harmed him.
I'm not the one that harmed him.
Do you know who did?
No, I don't.
I think you're leaving something out.
I don't know. I'm being serious. I'm telling the truth, man. I don't know who harmed him. After he left, I don't... Oh, my God. I honestly do not know who harmed him. I honestly don't.
Who do you think would harm him?
I don't know who would have. Anyone in the house? Is that what you're asking? If anyone in the house would have harmed him?
I left that open to you. You
Nobody
brought up in the house. Did somebody in the house harm him? What about your dad?
He wouldn't harm Mark. He wouldn't.
Your mom?
No. Nobody in the house would harm him.
Nobody?
Nobody.
Harley?
Nobody. Not even him.
Are you scared of Harley?
No, I'm not.
Pretty big fella.
He is pretty strong. I know. But he's about my size and height, about a couple more pounds, and he can lift as much as I can. I'm not scared of him.
Are you afraid of what might happen to him?
I care about him because he's my brother.
You care what's going on? I mean, are you scared of going to jail?
Me? I'm scared freaking shitless because I'm getting in your question about something that I even have trouble remembering myself. Because from the stories I've been telling you guys, I've told you guys different stories.
Has Harley talked about jail before to you?
He's been locked up in DOC and stuff like that because he's a priority 3 foster kid. He's the highest
Yeah, we know.
threat.
Yeah.
And he's always talked to me about being there and being in other lock-up facilities, but he hasn't talked about harming Mark in any way. He hasn't even talked about Mark.
Did he talk about harming anybody?
No.
Oh, I know. He said there told me earlier he brags about fighting and everything else.
Well, from what I know, he's not going to harm anybody around my house.
Okay. He talks about fighting and brags about it, correct?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Does he ever brag about choking anybody, punching anybody, kicking anybody
No.
Specifically?
Just fighting itself.
Okay. What does he brag about? What about fighting?
He just loves to fight. He doesn't necessarily say anything about like what he loves. He just loves to inflict pain on people.
He likes to inflict pain on people.
From fighting, yes.
Does he have any kind of resource, any kind of money? Does he work?
No.
Well, do you see him buying anything?
No.
What about you? Have you bought anything pretty expensive in the last couple of weeks?
Have I?
Mm-hmm.
I paid my phone bill.
Last couple of weeks?
You know, the most expensive thing that I've bought in these past couple of weeks is my cell phone case for about $32.
How much is your phone bill?
$75. If I don't go over.
Okay. Here's the deal. You say you like Marcus, right?
Yes.
He's a family member, basically.
Yes.
All right.
Technically.
How long you known Harley?
How long have I known Harley? A couple weeks.
A couple weeks.
Yeah.
You get to know a person pretty well in a couple weeks?
No.
You're right. You don't. Okay. Now you got to decide who you're wanting to help here, okay?
I want to help Marcus.
Okay. If there's something you know, you need to tell us right now.
I don't know anything else.
You just told us that Harley likes to fight, but Harley wouldn't hurt him.
He wouldn't hurt him. Harley only fights people if they pose a threat to him. If they get into his face, he only fights people that get in his face.
All right, I'm going to tell you, we don't go after people
I know.
that are innocent, okay? We may for a while, but we get on the right track, and then we go after the guilty people. You understand that? The last thing I want to do is throw somebody in jail that's innocent.
Yeah.
All right? You understand me?
Yes.
I don't want to do that. That would go against all my beliefs. But I need to know what happened and what you really believe about Harley, because I don't think you're being honest about Harley. You're really not. You know he's capable, and he's probably got the attitude to hurt somebody.
He does have the attitude to hurt somebody. From what I've seen, yes, he does.
Okay.
He gets mad really easy. I've seen that too.
Okay. And he was agitating Marcus that night, wasn't he?
Not that I can recall, no.
You said that in a statement. What was the exact quote?
How was I?
He was trying to, I believe, trying to get Marcus to play chess.
Okay.
He was aggravating him, or he was aggravating to play Marcus in chess, but they was playing at the time, and by the time the game got over, Harley and Jim went to the living room. And shortly after that, I went to sleep, and shortly after I went to sleep, then I heard Harley's door shut. I believe it was pretty well the statement that you gave earlier. I can rewind the tape and show you for sure. But
Harley ever get out and drive the van?
No.
He's not supposed to. Listen, covering for him just makes it more difficult.
I understand that. I really do. But I don't foresee him doing any of that stuff. He wants to make it a house. He wants to make his life good.
Okay.
One and two is two different things.
I'm not going to tell anybody anything, what you're going to tell me next, okay? But I want you to be honest with me. Debbie's not going to find out. Ron's not going to find out. Nobody's going to find out.
Okay.
I want to know what Harley's done wrong in that house.
Harley has, him and my big sister, they clash because they have bad attitudes at times. They clash at times, and he gets mad, and he'll just leave the room. He'll leave the room and go to his room, cool off for about 15 minutes, and he'll come back and he's happy-go-lucky. That's how he is.
So he's never done anything wrong in that home. The guy that has a troubled past, like him, been in so much trouble, he's an angel in your house. I don't believe that for a second. I think you're still covering for him, and I'm getting fed up with it. You need to tell me what he did wrong. I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to squeal him out. I want to know what he's done wrong in that home. All right?
The only thing he's done wrong is get smart with my sister constantly.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. He does all his chores.
He does all his chores.
He doesn't smoke cigarettes, weed.
Doesn't smoke. He may smoke weed, but I'm not for sure.
All right, let's expand on that. How might he smoke weed? How might you suspect that?
When he first came here, he has said he smokes weed. He has said he would love to do it again, and he said if he knew somebody, he would go get some right now.
Okay. And you know what I'm going to do about that? Nothing. I don't care. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't care. What else has he done wrong in that home? He's not an angel. I know he's not an angel.
I know he's not. He's got a troubled past. I know that he's been in lockup. He's been in lockup since he was like 10. Okay. But other than that, when you start with my sister and talking about smoking weed, obtaining it, and doing all this other stuff with weed, I don't know.
You don't know?
I do not know.
He's not done anything else wrong? He's not snuck out at night?
Not from what I know. At all.
What do you suspect?
Why you have to bite your lip when you talk?
My lips are dry from talking.
No, you had to bite your lip to give that statement just now.
You're qualifying your answers. It's not working for me, okay? He's done some stuff wrong in there, I know. I know he's done some stuff wrong. What else has he done wrong? What about him and Andrew? Tell me about that.
Him and Andrew get along really well.
How well?
I mean, they do hold each other's hands and all this stuff, but they're not allowed to date or do anything like that.
They're of age where they're going to be thinking about other exploits.
No.
What do you know?
I know everything about other exploits. They're going to find ways to get around.
Have they found other ways that you suspect?
Not from what I suspect, no.
Really? To hold hands and
from holding hands? I mean, he'll walk up to her in the bag and hug her, put his head on her shoulder, and every once in a while I'll see them hold each other's hands. That's about it.
That's it. So get your blinders on from then on, everything else. That's what you're saying? I don't believe that. I think you see what goes on there. I know you see what goes on there. And he's done some things probably shouldn't. They may not be illegal, but he shouldn't be doing them. Am I right?
Yes.
What are they?
Like what he's done in the house?
Pardon?
Like what he's done in the house?
Yeah.
He gets mad, and when he gets mad, him and my big sister Deidre get into it.
You told me that.
Okay? And he just keeps going and going and going and going until he finally walks off.
Okay.
And after he walks off, he cools down.
Then he comes back. I know, you told me this, right?
Yes.
He's done more than that. A kid like him doesn't just stop. They keep doing stuff, all right? And they can't help themselves. It may not be their fault, all right? It may be the way they were brought up. But somehow, he's a troubled child, and he's caused some problems there, and I think you're still covering for him.
I'm not covering for him.
What else has he done wrong? I know you see some stuff.
Not that I know of.
He's never snuck out at night. Never left.
If he snuck out, I'm asleep.
Okay, so you don't know.
If he's done anything else, I'm asleep, because I usually go to bed around 10 to 12 o'clock. Usually it's 10.
Okay.
How's it 10 o'clock when you work all the time? Till 10?
That's only on the days I don't work. On the days I do work, I don't go to bed till about 11, 12.
Earlier you told me, our other interview, I got read about 3 times. What time was you home that night? You said 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. 3 times you told me that. In a recorded interview in my car. That night you told me 10 o'clock. Now you're saying that you're not getting home till 11:30. That is an hour and a half difference.
What did I say 11:30?
When?
Yeah.
A while ago when you just explained your bus ride across town, when you went to Walmart and
that was
you got another bus.
Thursday. You're wrong off what I told you about Saturday.
No. You told me the night that Marcus was there. We said the night Marcus was there, what time did you get home? You said 10 o'clock. That's what you told me. You said 10 o'clock. You said 11:45 is when he started walking out the back door. Okay, you didn't get home until 11:30. That's exactly what you said. You said around 11:45. Then you changed the while ago to 12:30. Then you changed it to 12:45. Then you changed it, well, no, it was at midnight one time. And then you go to bed, you said at 12:30. Then it turned into 1 that you went to bed. Then I believe it was almost 1:15 that you went to bed. You said about 10 different time frames within an hour, 2-hour time period. That's what you said. You don't have to look at me. I wrote it down.
I believe you.
Man.
I know.
You know?
Do you have trouble telling the truth?
When I'm put on the spot, yes.
Okay, and you're put on the spot right now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a real tough time. So I want to believe you, but there's something missing. There's something missing, I can tell. We can both tell.
Man, we wouldn't have you down here for no reason.
I know.
And
I understand.
I wouldn't have interviewed you so long in the car.
Yeah.
You seen how long it took me to interview everybody else in the car?
Yeah, it took me the longest.
Yeah. Usually almost like 45 minutes interview or something like that in the car.
35. I looked at the...
35.
Yeah.
And, you know, William, here's the deal. We can either help you or you're on your own. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. Right now we're trying to help you. Now, you might not think that, you know, you might think we're here grilling you, you know, making you cry, making you do all this other stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we wouldn't be giving you the second chance if we didn't want to, okay? I had enough from the interview earlier to get warrants on you and put you in jail, okay?
Yeah.
He was the last person seen.
Yes.
I've got to, you know, something's happened to him, you know.
But
Hey.
if I'm the last person that's seen him, why does that make me a suspect?
Enough to get a warrant to bring you in, is what I'm saying.
I know.
I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to charge you with
I already
something.
know you guys think I'm a suspect because my hand's swollen and fortifying the truth or whatever.
When did you figure this out?
Because you guys keep asking about my hand at the sign.
When?
Did you guys keep asking me about
Today
my
or
hand?
the last week?
What, that I'm a suspect?
No, about your hand.
You came in, okay, on the day that I worked, you asked about my hand.
I know, is that when you thought you were a suspect?
I thought I was a suspect after you took pictures of my hands.
Okay. Suspect of what?
That I did something to Mark,
Mm-hmm.
or helped in any way to possibly kill Mark. Well, kill now, but harm him in any way at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I even broke down and cried at work
Mm-hmm.
because you guys came and took pictures of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it clicked. You guys think I'm a suspect to what has happened.
Well, you know what? I really do after that statement, because not one time either one of us said anything about killing.
Oh my God, really?
No,
What the shit, man?
not one time.
Seriously?
You just brought that up on your own.
I don't want to go to...
You're one say he's found the high river. You're one now. You're saying he's killed.
Oh my God.
It's time for honesty.
All we're doing is an investigation.
I know you guys are.
We're doing an investigation concerning Marcus.
We're looking out for Marcus right
I
now.
know you guys are. I'm trying to help him too. If I did anything to harm him, I don't know. Honestly, don't.
You're giving us a lot of information that usually a completely innocent person wouldn't do.
If you did anything to harm Marcus, you really don't know, is what you just said. What kind of statement is that?
Because after what you guys are saying, you think I did something to Marcus.
That's what you just said. If I did anything to harm Marcus, I don't know.
I did not harm Marcus in any way possible. After
No,
he left,
that's
I
not
went
what
to
you just
sleep.
said.
My gosh. I don't... I'm trying to help too, but I'm trying to help for my safety now, and you guys are just drilling me and drilling me.
It's for your safety.
I know it is.
Pardon?
I said I know it is. if I wasn't here right now, I'd probably be in jail. I realize that. Because you said you could have brought a warrant to break me in. And all this other stuff. But I don't know what else happened after he left. That's the thing.
Why did you leave that night, later that night?
I did not leave later that night.
You sure about that?
I'm positive I didn't leave later that night.
So I ain't gonna have you on camera at the store, right the road, pointing right towards. Yep, pointing right toward Riverside Drive. I'm not gonna have you on the camera driving down the road, or riding in a vehicle down the road.
Right? I did not ride in a vehicle. There's no possible way.
I'm not gonna have you driving a vehicle then.
No.
Or walking.
No. Possibly walking, yes. But okay, that night, it was that night or a couple nights after that, I had walked down to the Cambridge gas station and got a 12-pack of RC Cola.
After you supposedly went to bed?
I said either that night or a couple nights before, or after.
So, when I got you on camera down there, that would be the night that Marcus was there. You went to bed after Marcus was there, and then you left, and we got some RC Cola, maybe? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I'm gonna be honest, I have terrible memory when it comes to time and date.
You have a terrible lying problem, is what you got.
I know. Honestly.
You have a very terrible lying problem, because you know what? You're lying about this right now. Because, you know, I just called you out on that, and you're the one that's sitting there saying that you left and went and got RC up the road. But that's not what you're telling me, okay? You're sitting there saying Marcus walked out the back door, I went to bed, then Harley's door shut, now Harley went to bed while you was playing chess, then you start, you know, I didn't go nowhere that night, I went straight to bed and I blacked out. But I don't really black out, but I'm a sound sleeper is what you said. But now you're saying, you know what, I went down the road and got me a 12-pack RC, and then came back to the house. Oh my God.
I honestly do not know if I did something, I do not know about it.
Well, maybe you did something to him you don't know about it. You ever think about that?
Yes.
So you could have harmed Marcus and not know anything about it.
Oh my gosh.
Is that what you're saying? Like could you have harmed Marcus on accident, playing around with him or something and hurt him? Could you have done that?
Yes, I didn't play around with him. I played the game of chess, we talked and we left.
Could you have done that? Because you don't know anything you're doing right now, apparently. After 11 o'clock at night, could you have hurt Marcus on accident? Could you have hurt Marcus on accident? Answer the question. Could you have hurt Marcus on accident?
After I went to bed?
Oh, after you went to bed and we went and got RCs, whenever.
Okay, when I go to bed, I have time sleepwalking, but by the time I went to bed, he was down the street. I don't walk that fast. I have club foot.
Could you have hurt Marcus on accident?
Yes, I could have. But I know for a fact I didn't.
William, if this was an accident, if something happened and it's an accident, okay, it's an accident. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay. If someone else did something and it was an accident, we can work with that. I told you that a while ago.
Yes.
If this is a stone cold malicious act, we're going to work on it different. You understand that?
Yes, I understand it.
You're telling me right now you could have harmed Marcus and not known about it.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure if I harmed somebody, I'd know about it in any way, shape, or form. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. You're telling me you don't know. What happened? There's something you're not telling me. There's a part you're leaving out.
Call it in my memory.
Why can't you call what you did to him?
I didn't do anything to him.
You're telling me right now you could have.
I could have.
Yeah.
Well, for a fact, I didn't.
I ain't gonna sit here and make a statement to you that I could have done something if I know damn well and good I didn't do it. But you're telling me that you could have done it.
Oh my gosh.
If it was an accident, we need to know.
I don't remember anything after I fell asleep. That's the thing.
Apparently you remember going getting some RCs.
I went
a 12-pack RCs.
Okay. It was either that night or a couple nights after that. I got home from work. I was working the weekend shifts you know.
See, notice how your attitude changes?
Oh my God.
What about the attitude change at the home the last few weeks?
What do you mean attitude change?
I talked to everybody there at the house. They said you've had an attitude change the last about 3 weeks. Or the last few weeks is what I was told. You've had a bad attitude.
So I'm constantly tired.
About the rabbit cage earlier today, you know, where you crushed like a $200 rabbit cage and threw that back?
I took it apart.
Yeah.
I didn't. No, I put that out because my buddy wakes up in the middle of the night, and the fact that we're moving to the new house on Lincoln, where we plan on moving to, my room's small. I can't have a big giant cage. So I took it apart. I set it outside for someone to take.
Tell me, it's easier it is to talk about something like this that you actually really did and you know, than
Yeah.
the other stuff that you're trying to fabricate. It's a lot easier to talk about that, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then when I go back to something else, then that's when you get all hemmed up and start crying and get all emotional. Remember earlier when I asked you about the DNA, if I could find any of your DNA on Mark?
Yes.
What was your answer?
I don't remember. I'll be honest.
Okay, let me re-ask you the question. If I go and take Mark, and I, you know, lift all the DNA off of him, all over his body, clothes, everything else, where could I find your DNA at on Mark?
On his hand, in the back of his shirt, because I patted him on the back of his shirt and I shook his hand after the chest match.
Am I going to find it anywhere else?
No.
Are you positive about that?
Yes, I'm positive.
I'm not going to find your fingerprints anywhere.
No.
You realize that stuff stays on there for a long time, right?
I realize it does, yes.
Okay.
Each person has their own set of fingerprints.
Mm-hmm.
I realize that too.
And I'm going to tell you, honestly, what I believe,
So I did it.
something's happened and it was an accident, okay? I'm not going to sit here and say you did it. I'm going to say an accident happened, and then everybody freaked out, and then when nobody knew what to do, okay? And about 3 of you trying to cover up for each other. This is the deal. If the first one that cracks is going to be the lucky duck. The second one that cracks might be all right. The third one definitely ain't going to be all right. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you want to talk about going to jail and everything else, wait till you're number 3. Then you're going to see a lot of jail time. Number 1 might be lucky. Right now, you're not number 1. Something's happened to him. I know something's happened to him. You know something about it. And you need to tell us, because I'm telling you right now, William, right now you're 18 years old. You got your whole life ahead of you. If something is screwed up, someone screwed up, you know about it, you've done something, or might have done something, but you really don't know, which I ain't believing that by no means, by the way. If you've done something, or know about it, man, I'm telling you, you want to be the first person to come forward. Because right now, what we're going to do, we already had your mom down here earlier talking to her. You know that. Okay? Right now, she's going to help us the most. You can be there too. We're down there talking to Deidre right now. I'm sure she's going to help us. You're not helping us at all. And we're going to interview everybody in the house. We're going to interview the whole family. We're going to interview everybody on the block. We're going to interview the people at the Kangaroo Store. We're going to review everything. We're going to go down there and we're going to pull all the videos and everything else and see if you and Marcus was down there at the Kangaroo Store.
I didn't go anywhere with him that night.
Well, if Marcus was down there at the Kangaroo Store, then you walked in right there after him. They'd say you went together.
I didn't go anywhere that... Oh my gosh. I'm trying to keep my emotions under control. Like crying, stuff like that.
Man, if you need to cry and let it off your chest, go ahead. I mean, if that makes you feel better, go ahead.
It doesn't. Because I'm getting interrogated for something I didn't do.
Well, so far you've sat here and told a bunch of lies on what you've done. That's what you're getting interrogated about, all your lies and inconsistencies. Which you've agreed you're a bad liar and you have a lot of inconsistencies, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're getting questioned and grilled about it. Okay? or grilling about all your inconsistencies. You're the one that cannot come up with a solution for that. Okay? Remember earlier when I told you, when your mom finds out you've been lying, she's going to grill you until you admit it, and then you finally admit it and get it off your chest and you feel better, then you might get a spanking. Okay? That's kind of the same philosophy here. Okay? You're lying, you're lying about something. That's why we keep grilling you about it, to get it off your chest, make you feel better, help our investigation. We'll deal with whatever later. But right now we're dealing with this. And what we're dealing with is you lying, your inconsistent stories. And there's only one way to solve it. I mean...
Me tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Yeah, pretty well.
Do you want me to start from the beginning?
Man, I've already heard this story like 52 times about you playing chess. Okay? What I want to know is what happened, supposedly, when Marcus walked out the back door, which I've been told he left out the front door.
I told you he left out the front door.
I've been told that. I'm not going to tell you who I heard that from. I've been told that.
He left out the back because when he walked out to the garage, he put on his shoes and he walked out the side door right here and walked out that way. I seen him walk out the back door. Then I went downstairs to my room.
You seen him walk out the back door, or did you walk him to the back door?
We were talking, we were talking about, I was talking about seeing him around again. Like, if he were to come, because he said he was walking from the east side to the west side, like he usually does. And I told him that I would see him when he comes back around to the side of the city. Then he got on, walked out the back door, put on his shoes, walked out the garage door, and then left.
So when did you shake his hand?
I shook his hand after the chess game, and after he left, because I shook it one more time.
After he left?
Or before he left.
When did you pat him on the back?
When I walked in the door.
When you walked in the door?
When I walked in the door to see my mom after I got home from work.
So you didn't shake his hand then, you just patted him on the back?
Patted him on the back after I walked in, gave him a hug.
You told me earlier you shook his hand and patted him on the back at the same time. Your statement earlier was, I always do that to people. I shake their hand and pat them on the back at the same time.
I didn't say I always did it at the same time. I said I always walk in, and when I see somebody I recognize, I pat them on the back.
And shake their hand.
I pat them on the back like this, and then after that I shake their hand. It's a formal greeting.
Okay. Earlier, I'd have to review the tape. Earlier, I'm pretty sure that you said, I shake people's hand and pat them on the back at the same time. You kind of did a little motion like that while you was in the car. Because remember, I was like, well, how do you do that? Because I asked you, you hug them or whatever, and you was like, oh, I just pat them on the back. Which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, guys do it all the time to guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it to my buddies.
Yeah.
So, but...
You're just trying to figure out what happened from the chess game to when he left, pretty much.
No, from
when
you're
left,
saying that he
out what
walked
happened
out the back door.
I know that. But you're trying to figure out what happened to him. But when he left, I had gone down to my room. I had fed my rabbit, and then I went to sleep. I'm telling the truth now, because I just now caught that I was lying when you resaid what I had said, or get the RC. So the day after that night, me and Harley went down to the gas station, got a pack of RC, came home. I split it 50-50, 6 cans each, with him and me, and went downstairs. And then I went to bed. The next night.
The next night? Harley wasn't there the next night. He was at his mom's on Friday.
He wasn't there all day.
His statement was he was at his mom's all day Friday.
Visitations only last for a couple hours. He wasn't there all day.
Man, I'm telling you.
When we get to the bottom of this, we will.
Wow.
Wherever it settles, okay? People that help us the most, in turn, help themselves. They really do. They help themselves. Something you really got to think about.
I am trying to help myself. I really am. I try to help myself from not going to jail. And from what you guys are telling me, I'm probably going to be the one that's going to be getting the most.
When we leave this room, if we're still at this standstill, that's always a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
You want some time to think about it?
We're gonna step out. You sit in here, we'll be back in about 5 minutes, talk to you. You need to do some real heavy thinking real quick.
Get some soul searching.
Some real heavy thinking.
2 grounds. You need to help Mark, help yourself. You know what I mean?
Nobody else matters in this besides you and Mark right now. You gotta look out for yourself, you gotta help Mark.
But I'm trying to
No,
work.
look, we're done. You wait 5 minutes, we'll be back, okay?
You really need to think about this.
You need anything to drink, Lee?
Some water, please.
I don't know if we have water. What about it? Coke be okay?
Sure.
Can you drink Cokes?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll be back. Hey, so would you rather have water or Coke?
Water.
Come on out, and we'll drink right here. Go ahead and have a drink, okay?
That's it. What did you think about this crazy case? Drop a comment down below and let's talk about it. Also, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you never miss another upload. And speaking of which, click this video on the screen right now for another truly bizarre case. Till next time.